Hello everybody, so it's been a long time since you've seen me on YouTube, approximately about almost a year. So a lot of things have happened. You know, I'm still in that perpetual motion of trying to overcome that challenge of growing SPS, but things have improved a little bit. I think the last time you saw the video, my NIM was a little bitty guy just like that guy up there, but he has actually split twice, and he actually split twice in one day. And that guy on the back rock was actually really small, and they've grown. It's just been a couple of months. I have a few frags around. Water quality is definitely getting more stable. I'm able to track it a lot better. As you can see, this coral line growing all around the back wall. I've added another gyre, so basically what I'm doing is I have a gradual pulse 24/7, you know, at least up to 70%. And at 8 in the morning and at 8 at night, it switches over to a gyre, so that when I'm feeding, it'll get all the excess food out and all the detritus and things like that. My zoas have really grown. They've taken off. You know, nothing has really changed by way of livestock. You know, pretty much the same livestock. And of course, I'm still dosing. Matter of fact, I don't think I was dosing the last time we had the video, but that's really kind of helped. I've got my alkalinity is pretty high. I mean, I keep it at 9.3, and the calcium at 450. Magnesium is around 1450. I did start using Roaphos. That stuff is excellent. I just today, after 2 months, added more Roaphos, or cleaned it out and added more Roaphos, because I just started seeing traces of phosphates. It was at 0.02 for almost 2 months after my first, and I did half a dose of what's recommended for this tank. So that really worked. This is my summer fan, because it is summer here, and in Texas it gets hot. It was 100 degrees today, and so whenever the heat gets above 80, 81, I turn it on. And of course I have the heater on so it doesn't get below 78. I do have an Apex. I have not set it up because I am anticipating getting a larger tank. I'm going to move some things around in the office and make some room, because I really feel like I need a sump, because I've got everything in the AIO, and that's just really getting tough. Not to manage, but just, you know, trying to reposition things where you think they're going to work better. And that's what this game's all about. But so far, you know, every time I go to the store and they tell me this is a Walt Disney coral, for some reason when it gets to my house, it's a mission impossible. So everybody in this tank is a mission impossible, because some of us it's impossible. Now what I am anticipating is, for some information I've got this last week from a couple of reefers here in town that come over and bought some corals for my son. They've been kind of showing us, you know, some of the progress they get with using the kalkwasser. Now, what I plan to do is to see if I can incorporate kalkwasser during the night, where pH can stay high, because during the day my pH is around 8.0, which is not too bad. So I'd like to see it at 8.2 maybe, but at night I'm pretty sure it's down to 7.8 or even 7.7. So I'm going to incorporate kalkwasser and see what that does. And so, you know, pretty much the tank has not given me any major problems, and I think that, you know, these frags that I've had here, I've actually had for quite a while now. I mean, I say quite a while. When they're mission impossible, when it's a month, that's a long time. It's just like dog years. I mean, you know, a month for a frag is like a year for us, because it's so hard to grow. And there's some guys with green thumbs, or like they always say, you know, it's either luck or knowledge or just persistence in trying to get the hobby going. But if we all love it, that's pretty much what we do, and we just continually try to do that. So I'm gonna kind of take a step out of my norm right now. There's a couple of things I like to talk about, you know, because in today's society, even though we all have this love of not only animals but our ocean and what we care for, we as humans also need some of that care too. And the one person that I think has been just a real inspiration, and not only to me, because I actually showed this video to my wife and I shared it with my daughter who lives in Austin, and that's that video from Nicole Taylor Dean. She has gone through a lot, and I can completely understand, her fear. I've never been an addict or anything, but when you're a child, it doesn't really matter. I say child, she's a lot younger than me, but when you're a young adult, and things are getting out of control, and it doesn't have to be drugs, it can be anything. You can be in trouble with speeding all the time, or in trouble with not going to school when you're supposed to. But in any case, it took a lot of courage for her to own up to what she knew she was into, and to turn to her parents. As a parent, I have 5 kids, and let me tell you, as a parent, when a child comes to you, for help, that's the best thing ever for a parent, because they're going to do everything in their power, and let me tell you, they're the only people who will not lie to you. So I really commend her. I congratulate her on her sobriety, and that she's picked up, where she left off, and nobody here that's living on this earth today can judge, because we all have flaws. I do, my kids do, everybody is gonna hit a ditch, and it's how you handle it that makes you a better person. And I think that she did it beautifully. She just hit it out of the park, and I wish her well in her endeavors. She's a fellow Texan, and we support her. She's just my neighbor in San Antonio. We're in Houston, and I really enjoyed her fish videos, and I even watched her animal videos. She had a lot of interesting animals. None that I would be too scared to handle some of the animals she handles. Like, I'm really a snake guy, but I thought her videos when she did her big tank, even when she had her little tank inside her room, she really put a lot of thought into how she did things, and she explained it so very well. Unlike some of us, we're not so good at that. But Nicole, if you do watch this, I think you did a tremendous job of how you handled that situation and how you're handling it. I know you have a long road ahead of you. We're right here behind you. I know you're not doing fish at the moment. I think you were a very good asset to our community in the fish world, in the reef world, and I hope someday you do get a chance to get back into it. We look forward to that. Meanwhile, I do tend to follow your progress. Even though it doesn't, it relates to me in a way as a parent, because I like to see the young generation really pick up where they failed and really excel, and I think you're going to do that. You have a lot of great things ahead of you, and I think you're a great, I guess we could call him a vlogger or videographer, but I think you do great. I enjoy the videos just from how you present them. So kudos to you, and we wish you well, and you got us behind you, so don't worry about anything and just keep pressing forward. Thank you so much. So on another note, I saw a video this week, and it's with Rico. He had some problems with his tank. We have a friend here in Texas who has multiple tanks, one of them of which is 2,000 gallons, and he had a similar problem, and it turned out that he got this good deal on some salt, and I won't name any manufacturer because I'm not here to bash anybody, but it turned out to be the salt, because all of a sudden all his corals were just dying all over the place. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know what happened, and the only thing he remembers was he changed the salt. I don't know if that's the same case with Rico. I know he was using Pruitt, which looks to be a very good product, and if there's any contaminations, you never know. Something could be, you could have stagnant water somewhere, it could be anything. But the one thing I want to kind of say, Rico, if you see this, is, we follow your videos. You're an inspiration to this community. We've learned a lot from you. But, just like us, we know you're human. But don't let these trials and tribulations get you down. You've got a lot to offer, and I know that you're going to learn from this, and you're going to excel again, and you're going to get back on your game. Don't let it hurt your self-esteem. And I say that knowing that when it happens to me, it does hurt my self-esteem. There's times where I'm like, I thought I had it, and then I feel like I failed. And I can tell you I have failed a lot, probably because this is a smaller tank, a lot of times. but because I love the hobby and because I love what I do, I keep going at it. And I know you're going to keep going at it, and one day you're going to look back and go, gosh, you know, that was a tough problem. I figured it out. I'm back on track, and you're contributing, you know, to our community. And we'll continue to watch, and hopefully hopefully you get past this issue, you know, quickly, and you get back on your game, and we'll be here to watch you do that. Thank you very much, Rico. Okay, so that's kind of the couple of things I wanted to cover. I just think, you know, I'm just a small dude, you know. I mean, I don't even know how many subscribers I have, you know, probably 2, me and my son, you know, but at the same time, I think a lot of what goes into this is that kind of keeps me drawn in is not only the community, you know, the LFSs that we go to, the places we meet at all the reef conventions, is the camaraderie, the willingness for us to help each other, the willingness for us to, you know, give advice and keep people moving on. I mean, that says a lot for our community, you know, not only as reefers, but as humans, you know, that's just our nature. So back to the tank, you know, at this point in this game for me, it's more of wait and see. So I keep hands out now a lot, you know. I mean, I still have my same water change schedule. Every Friday night at the same time I change my water, 5 gallons. I take stats for everything every Saturday, you know, and it's been very consistent. I only had one time because we had this problem in Houston where there was pneumonia spikes in our tap water, and the LFSs in the Houston area were struggling to try to handle that problem. And in that mad situation, unfortunately, one of my jugs that should have been salt water was fresh water, and it brought my salinity, you know, way down. I keep it at 1.025, 1.026, and it was at 1.020. Luckily, before I put in my next batch of water, my son screamed down for me from upstairs and goes, "Dad, don't pour the water." He goes, "It's fresh water," because he actually did a finger test on his, actually what he did was he was pouring it in. I pour mine in from the back of the AIO. I would have never noticed, but he pours it in to the sump, or the sump on the bottom, and he saw the difference in the water, the consistency, and knew right away that it was fresh. So he yelled at me and told me to stop, and luckily I did, because another 5 gallons of that and mine would have probably been in a danger zone as you know, as far as salinity goes, and I could have killed my fish and everything else. So so he helped me out in that. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys too long. I'm going to kind of just wind it down, but just to let you know, I do have an Apex, but I think I'm going to start looking at a bigger tank. And I'm going to give these guys, and what I'll do is I'll probably do another video in another month, unless you guys want me to talk about something, or you want me to show you something, or give an experience about something. I'll be glad to, but I'm going to kind of watch it for another month, and I'm just going to stay status quo. The only thing I may do is I may add the kalkwasser, and I said I'd do it at night. If any of you have some reservations about that, I think I shouldn't or should, I'd like to hear your comments, or anything else about the tank. I'd love to hear your comments, any questions or on anything. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Those who did watch, I really appreciate it. And those who are new, if you know, I'll give you whatever advice I can, and if I can't give it to you, I'm pretty sure in this community we'll find somebody who knows what you need and will help you find it. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.